When the outdated tactics get left behind, it's time we stop. Marketers look around when your ranking's going down.
Well, speaking about the bad players, I mean, I think one of the things that I see a lot that I think a lot of clients we've had I know complain about are the fake reviews. You know,
Sure.
what do you do about fake reviews?
Fake reviews suck. Getting extorted sucks even more, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen those as well. The ones
Yeah.
that'll say like, "We'll leave the bad reviews unless you pay in Bitcoin or whatever."
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of organized crime out there when it comes to reviews.
Mhm.
Had a client send me a screenshot just the other day, and somebody with total broken English. I mean, you can tell it's somebody from overseas, right? They're like, "I have put bad review on profile. You pay me to get rid of, or tomorrow 100 more." Literally.
Wow. Whoa.
And they will follow it up with, "I have the resources, I have the people, I have the phones, I will leave you bad reviews." So the problem is that unfortunately the damage is real, because if they do hit you with 100, say, reviews, and let's say you have 400, that's a 25% negative rating, right? 25% negative rating will bring you down to a score of about 3.2. If you get down to a 3.2, your competitors are going to have a 4.8, maybe, right? 3.2, 4.8. Who am I going to do business with? I'm not even going to read the reviews, by the way. I'm just going to look at the rating. That's the problem. And then you add on top of that the fact that local service ads, that reviews are actually a ranking factor in local service ads, which is paper lead, if you don't know what LSA is, listeners. And that is that, and it's very competitive, and the leads are like dirt cheap. Like think AdWords circa 2000, you know. So imagine, getting a personal injury lead for $48. You pay $900 on AdWords. Anyway, but your rankings plummet when you get negative reviews. So we're seeing a lot of bad actors out there saying basically, yes, I will charge you and you will pay for me to get rid of these reviews. And it usually starts off when people start buying reviews, by the way. So it's like
they know these people care about it and are spending money to make sure it's good.
Right.
So you target those people. Oh.
Yeah. So think of it like this. It's like, one day you wake up and
paid money to make sure they got good reviews and it backfires. Oh.
Yep. Your information will be sold.
That's so bad.
You're a
That's
review
a bad
buyer.
karma, I guess,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, that's what happens when you mess with bad actors, right?
Yeah.
So, it's like, oh, I want to buy 5 good reviews so I can have a couple more. And then all of a sudden you get a message from somebody else saying, "I sell your reviews." Oh, buy? Okay. Getting rid of bad reviews is actually really difficult because there is what I consider to be the review economy, and Google sucks off of that as well. So they need to have their billion numbers. And so they get that through user-generated content, right? Reviews is user-generated content. So that means that they have a strict number of guidelines for what they consider to be abuse, basically. But like all of their guidelines, it's extremely gray. Like for instance, fighting back on an employee review or an ex-employee review, really difficult. Because Google is not going to accept your W-2 that shows that this person worked for you, or a pay stub, or a check, or anything basically that you have, because they don't want to see it. Period. It usually contains, somebody's social security number or their home address. So getting rid of an employee review, even though they're an employee, doesn't matter. Now, if that employee had the fact that they worked for you on their LinkedIn profile, and their LinkedIn profile is similar enough to their Google profile, then they can take that into consideration and may remove it. But the biggest problem that most people have is that they get reviews, and it usually be like a negative review attack, or somebody is trying to leave a good review for another company and they need somebody else to put a negative review on, because that's their tactic. So you get a negative review out of the blue. And the biggest thing I see, and I see this all the time, is where somebody says basically, that's not my customer. I've looked in my database. They don't exist. I've replied to them. It must be a competitor review. Whoop-de freaking do. Google doesn't care. They don't care what you think, and they're not going to get in between a user and you. Now, if they see other abusive signals, like that reviewer interviewed 10 different personal injury lawyers in one day, that's probably going to be a signal of abuse. Or they're in India and they're leaving a review for a company in California. That might be considered a signal of abuse. Or if that user is leaving 1-star reviews for every company in the roofing industry in San Diego, that might be considered a signal of abuse. So now if they're intentionally putting words like, curse words, for instance, or referring to a competitor or things like that in their reviews, responses, those might also be considered abuse. How do you get them removed? The first thing you do.
Someone's first review ever, because I've seen some too where it's like they are someone's first and only review, or maybe it's like 1 to 3, or does that play the number of reviews someone's done?
Which is trusted more, a website that's been around since 1997 or a website that's been around since 2022?
I hear you.
Okay. So it's trust, right? So the answer, of course, is the older the better, period. So it's like me. It's like I've got a Gmail account from God knows when. I mean, we're talking way, way early, right? Yeah. So it's like I'll sometimes be able to instantly verify a Google Business Profile because I have a high level of trust. So how do you get rid of a review? Okay, so getting rid of a review is not as straightforward as you think. First thing you have to do is report it from within your dashboard. That's number one. Flag it, report it. It's automated. It's AI moderated. So therefore, when you do that, you'll get a response within 24 to 72 hours. The response is usually going to be, sorry, we're not going to remove this. At that point, you can go through the review tool and you can request an appeal, okay, which is basically just sending support an appeal. Again, 24 to 72 hours, they will reply. That's human moderated. Also, you're probably going to get a no. What I recommend doing after that is just going to the Google Business Profile community. It's support.google.com/business/community. And you can go ahead and make a post your Google Business Profile link, give us a screenshot of the review that was left for you. And you can say, would somebody take a look at this? Can Google take a look at it and remove it? Don't give us a sob story because we really don't care. It's not pertinent, in other words. We care. It's just not pertinent and a waste of time. So anyway, once we take a look at it, we will read it. We'll take a look at the user's link. If you have a link, of course, give us the user's link. And then we'll take a look at those things. And based on what we feel at that point, we might say, you know what? Okay, we're going to go ahead and escalate this and send this to our contacts at Google to take a second look. Or we're just going to say, sorry, I don't think Google's going to remove this. Which unfortunately I have to say more often than not. And then, but once Google takes a look at it, it takes them a week or so, they will come back with a final determination, and that is they're going to be, it's removed or it stays, period. And that's it, final, last word. So, I just had a guy who came in just, yesterday, and I was looking at his stuff, and he's like, hey, I'm getting a review attack, which sometimes I believe, sometimes I don't. And then he posted all the reviews for his client, and oh my goodness, there was 50 reviews. Every single one of them was hiding the review activity, and most only left between 1 and 3 reviews. So it was total pattern of attack, and sent it to Google, and they got back to me today and said that they're looking at it and they're going to remove anything they find illegitimate. So we'll end up probably helping that user out. But that's the skinny of it.
How effective is it to request the callback from Google? I know that that's possible. That has happened to some of our clients, not with reviews. So usually that's about change of address or something like that. But can you do that for requesting review of your reviews?
No. So technically, you cannot request a callback from Google, number one. Okay. There is only one way to connect to them via voice. Well, okay, I take that back. There's no form way to connect or to request a callback. You can, in your support request, you can request a phone call. There is in the support, what we call get help, but in the support flow, certain questions will have the option to do chat or get a phone call. But it's not that many. It's extremely limited. Like good luck finding it.
The only case we were successful with that was when we had to change the address, and it caused all kinds of confusion with Google profile.
Yeah.
Requested the callback, and for a couple of our clients that helped.
Yeah.
So I was wondering how much that could work for other areas of
not many
problems.
Not many. That's why it's only shown for a couple of queries, is because they don't have a lot of people manning the phones. They've got more people on chat, basically. And actually, chat's a great function. If you can get into chat, you can get your problem solved really quick, but they won't look at reviews.
Stock marketers look